safety meeting. Thanks very much for joining us. Welcome. What else can I say? Sit down, enjoy yourselves. You're welcome to stand, of course. Far be it for me to tell you what to do. But in the meantime, let me mute myself. Go for a D, do your thing.
What's going on, everybody? Brains. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get the flying flock out. Back to you, for me.
21 in human years, preferably, or most importantly, whatever makes you an adult, because that's the legal requirement. Honestly, I couldn't care less, but it's basically for legal reasons. You need to be above your legal age. So whatever it is in your local area, if it's higher or I don't know, some other number, please follow your local rules. Cheers, Bud Kilowatt looks to be first in the chat. Let me double check by switching to live chat. Indeed, Bud Kilowatt is first in the chat. Sometimes people might wonder, oh, what's the difference between top chat and live chat? Top chat's a little bit more filtered. YouTube basically sometimes censors some of the comments. Stuff doesn't come in the order that it was received. It comes in the order that YouTube thinks that you'll like it. It's very bizarre, honestly. It's kind of frustrating. I've been filtered on my own goddamn chat, essentially. You know, like on your own channel, you shouldn't be filtered, you don't think, especially when you're not swearing or something. So that basically tuned me into like, okay, yeah, top chat's not for me. Live chat is a little bit superior. If we had a totally unfiltered version, I'd probably tell you that one. But you know, what can you do? The best version that we have is live chat. Bonjour, Christophe. He's saying good morning.
Hey.
And D, he's saying cheers, la team. Cheers back to you, Christophe. Bonjour. Big Force, of course. La Puissance. Cranmore Grows, of course, in the house. Cheers, buddy. Good to see him. Big Chirp is in the house. So good to see you as well. J5's hanging as well. He's already throwing lightning bolts carelessly. Doesn't even care if someone's going to get shocked. It's because he's a baller.
God, that's
Oh, it was almost a funny joke, but it fell apart. Chur Bro Grows, good to see you. I don't know why I said that so wrong. Chur Bro Grows, I'm a robot now. Anyway, Chur Bro, welcome. Big Chirp is also saying hello to D. Welcome, folks. Welcome to the show. So, feel free to say hello to the chat if you have not said hello before, if you haven't said hello today. Excuse me. If you didn't know that there's a YouTube chat, there certainly is one. Oh, apparently we were doing French. Hold on, I got a cough. All right, there we go. Ladies and gerbils,
oh, there we go.
apparently we're all French here, so we'll call ourselves Freedom Stoners or
What's
something.
up?
Anyway, Mr. Big
What's up?
Balls in the house. Good to see you. He's saying Ligma, Mr. Big Balls. All right, strong introduction there. Who else in here? Well, that's it, basically. That's it for new people. Feel free to say hello, though, folks. We always say lurkers, non-lurkers, all of y'all, you're welcome to say hello. So, as I was saying, if you have never actually chatted, if you didn't know that there was a YouTube chat, is a YouTube chat. I'm not making these names up from, well, I don't know if this was a simulation or something. Would I know that I was making up those names? Probably I wouldn't. You know, maybe they're simulations too, right? But in the meantime, in the simulation that I'm existing in, those people are all really fun people, martial artists in the house right now, also throwing lightning bolts. And ladies and gerbils, you're welcome to join them in the chat. We have a pretty fun time in the chat. Honestly, I think the chat is a good 50 or 60% of the show, sometimes more. Oh, look at that. North Star's already joining. You guys
Yeah.
are welcome to join there. And of course, you are welcome to join the panel as well. You guys are more than welcome to, as long as you don't be a dick, don't show your dick. Cheers, North Star. Good to see you.
How's it
Good
going?
afternoon. Welcome. What was I going to say?
Uh,
You're more than welcome to hop on, folks. Just like I say, don't be a lunatic. Don't be a fuckface. Don't come on here to start problems or where can I find? There we go. Don't come on here to be a jerk off. Basically, we're here to get a little bit stoned, get a little bit high, and talk about fun stuff like how to grow, you know,
oh
some
man.
herbs better, how to grow seeds from seed, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. I'm trying to be coy a little bit. But long story short, we're here to have fun conversations, not stupid conversations. So don't come on here to complain or be a poo-poo head. Go do that on your own channel. Honestly, seriously, grow your own channel. There's lots of folks that do thrive on negative energy. So if for whatever reason, I'm actually being quite serious. If you want to be negative, if you are sort of gifted at being negative or whatever, just go do that. Go do that on your own fucking channel. This channel is for not exclusively positive stuff. I'm not not, trying to hold your eyelids open or something. But basically, we're trying to keep a positive vibe here, folks. So just we're trying to be constructive. But you're more than welcome to hop on. Just ask nicely in the chat. We'll be perfectly happy to provide the link. Ton of people in the chat that could provide it already. Christoph, D Zombie. I think there was somebody else. Oh no, I maybe got that wrong. But anyway, oh no, yeah, Bud Kilowatts in the link or in the chat. They could always throw you the link, folks. So just ask nicely. We'd be happy to throw you the link. Where else can you talk to North Star on the internet without having a problem, without, I don't know, traveling 1,000 miles or something? Come on, seriously, folks. Hop on. Speaking of our awesome panel here, I'll let D swallow his awesome coffee for the moment so he doesn't choke. And we'll say hello. What's going on, D? Welcome.
What's going
Cheers.
on, channel? What's going on, chat? Brains. Hope everyone's having a great afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check out fumadoro.com, Fumes of Gold, all that good stuff, and get yourself some awesome merch and some awesome genetic preservation kits. I am just munching on my lunch right now. Nice vegetables, like a rabbit. I'm smoking on the usual. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, D. Good to see you, buddy.
Cheers.
Welcome, North Star. What's a good word?
How's it going? Not much. Lots of fun stuff. I got stuff from sale, geneticsupply.com. Get there and grab some seeds. Always available on Instagram. Ask questions. I'm glad to help anybody out. Try to give you good advice so you don't, follow all the thousands of talking heads that are giving you crazy nonsense things to try with your plants. Just keep it simple, keep it basic, and usually you're going to be fine to go. Here for a smoke. Got a little Buñuelos in the bowl. I'm actually a real short time today. I'm doing all kinds of work right here on my deck, grinding away, taking off fiberglass. I had a deck I had built during COVID, and we had some material issues trying to find what I could use for underlayment. So I ended up using this cheap crap from Thailand, and it's coming back to bite me in the ass now. It's all delaminating on itself. So I'm over here ripping up sections of deck and putting down new stuff. So I'm just trying to get some of the bad sections done now before we have any rain move in, because then it really gets bad if it starts getting wet and I have cracks and stuff on my deck. It's basically like a big fire, like a boat. Top of my deck is like a boat, like a fiberglass shell. And where the fiberglass is at, I have a thin layer of underlayment over the more structural wood, and it's all delaminating because it's just it's not good material. And I didn't quite lay enough resin down too, so I'm thinning a couple spots, which doesn't help either. So now I'm 2.5 years later, I'm paying the price trying to fix everything, and it's not going very easy. So
you have to basically
I'm out there cursing a lot.
Do you have to? I mean, I guess you're trying to save the deck itself. Do you have to like just chip away each section, or are you able to lift it off?
It's basically the fiberglass. I mean, it comes down. You lay down wood and you put resin over it to seal it, and you roll out fiberglass over that, and you impregnate that with resin. There's sections where the fiberglass is thin, and sections where the wood itself, layer of wood under itself, that wood is actually delaminating. So there's sections that are bad that I'm cutting through that whole entire plywood, lifting the whole section of it out, and trying to get to where it's hooked back to the deck better, where it's more laminated together. And I'm basically putting more resin in there, and I'm putting wood back in the spot, covering it all back up. Right now I'm doing a bunch of patch repair, which is like the areas that are bubbling up and all. I'm trying to get rid of all those. Then I'm going to have to go pretty much rent a floor sander and sand the whole entire deck off, back down to my whole top coat layer and down into my full-on fiberglass layer. Then I'll be able to see where some of my thin layers are at. That's actually where it's still laminated, but it's thin. So I have light resin. Now, no, it's going to be a future problem. So now I'm going to go back and address all the other spots that aren't a problem yet, but are going to be next year or the following year. Then I'll probably actually just roll out another right layer of fiberglass and fiberglass the whole entire deck over again with a whole other layer, and then wrap it up. But right now, I'm just basically pulling out entire sections, like 1.5 feet by like 2.5 feet of plywood. It's got thin layer of plywood. It's got some fiberglass on top. The whole deal. I'm taking it all out and trying to repair.
What was the reason to use the fiberglass and the embedded epoxy and everything else? Did you just want to make like a absolute environmentally proof boat essentially on your deck, or what was the idea?
Well, I used to build houses on the East Coast, and on the Jersey Shore, almost all the decks, the second floor decks, are all fiberglass. So your fiberglass rooftop decks are fiberglass. You have a fiberglass front deck, and it basically makes sure underneath of it's waterproof, so you can have a screen and porch, and the water just runs off. And you have gutters on the side and the whole nine. just trying. I was looking to find somebody to help me do it out here, and the closest place that does fiberglass decks in California is in New Jersey. So there was nobody out here that does fiberglass decks. I kind of took the whole project on myself. And I mean, my little portrait one right now, I have a fiberglass deck on here, but this is only like a 10 by 10 room, quite small, easy to do. My deck is 800 square foot, so it's a lot bigger of a deck. It was just I needed a lot more resin, and the big problem really was with biggest the underlayment material that I bought from Home Depot was just COVID supplies were low. So I spent a lot of money on plywood, like triple what it was cost right now to build this thing, pretty much with the plywood and everything. And that's my only option. I had all I had in stock was this real thin, like a quarter inch, a little thinner than I wanted. It was like a three thin ply of like underlayment. It was like interior only. I'm like, I need something. So I went and got that. And I laid it down with subfloor glue and everything. I didn't even hear it. The glue's peeling off of the subfloor glue. It's just, and all the layers are coming apart themselves. So it's, I just have crappy materials, and the theory is just fine. I think the other issue I might have here a little bit in California too is I go from like 50 degrees in the morning sometimes to like 85. So the expansion and contraction is more severe. In Jersey, it goes down to like 65 at night, and it slowly creeps up to like 80 through the day. So it doesn't get as cold at night, and it's just the sun is not as intense either. So there's some difference.
LA is extreme like that. It's really it's a weird thing to experience for people who haven't been there. Because seriously, a lot of places in LA, like it doesn't even have to be somewhere in the middle of nowhere. It could be like Burbank. Basically, it'll be 110 at in the daytime, basically in July or August or something. D's super happy. Send me there, right? But in the evening, it'll be like 58, 60.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a 50-degree drop. You know what I mean? That's incredible. That's basically like a desert. Don't you know it? It's actually a desert. That's why there's that crazy fucking drop. But it's murder on seals, like any kind of gaskets and shit. You know what I mean? So like any kind of house or car or whatever, they start leaking after a very shorter amount of time than somewhere that's more temperate, like in Oregon or Washington. Like you can have, I know a lot of people that have 30-year-old cars. Like you can't really have 30-year-old cars in California, even just from the sun. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Oh my goodness, I see a lot of hoods and a lot of roofs of cars that are like bleached out from people washing them. The sun just eats right through the paint job like nothing.
Yep.
For sure.
That's why that big chin prick keeps his cars inside.
Yeah.
I know.
Turn off the beep. These messages on the computer. Well, I'm not going to deal with it right now. Ladies and gerbils, you guys are more than welcome to hop on the show. I'm not going to beg or plead again. The show's actually almost, well, because we started late, almost half over. So folks, do hop on. Don't dawdle. We won't be here for too long. This show is a short conversational break in your day. So please do hop on, show your garden, ask some questions. As we can see, you could ask some contractor questions if you have any questions about building your house. Ladies, no, I'm kidding. But, well, I'm only half kidding, because actually that could be really funny. Someone hops on here to ask North Star a question. Hey, how do I drywall my house? Anyway, but
drywall, I hate drywall. You hire someone to do drywall.
Yeah, right.
I get drywall my nose.
Drywallers are a different breed of
forever.
Do you ever see? I don't see too many plaster houses anymore. They surely must exist. Maybe I don't hang with the rich people that have them. Are there plasterers still? Are there people who plaster houses, or is that just like a passe thing?
Now, a friend of mine that actually passed a couple of years ago did plaster work. I actually had him do some work at my house. We bought this house. It all had textured walls everywhere on it. And I just was like, I don't like texture, like that splatter texture crap. So I actually had him, he came in and plastered over this and smoothed it all out. And then a house I had remodeled in Ocean City, New Jersey, had traditional like shiplap with the wire and the lap board and the plaster. So I left as much of it I could. I replaced some spots with drywall, but there were some spots that were just plaster. I had him come, he came in and he did the plaster work there too to repair that. So there are people that do it. Same thing with dry. It's just messy. It's a lot of sanding. So we got a sander device hooked to a vacuum, so you're sanding it all, but still, it's just like it's all over the place. It's everywhere. It's a mess.
Yeah. I got stucco ceilings, and I hate stucco ceilings.
Oh yeah.
You hate stucco ceilings?
Yeah, it's all bumpy.
The popcorn
Oh,
ceiling.
I don't know. I don't like the way it looks. I like flat.
Well, stucco ceiling is a hell of a lot better than cottage cheese ceiling. How do you like those? Do you have those in Canada?
Boom. You should be beaten with a seal.
What's that?
You should be hit in the face with a seal.
Okay. Cheers, by the way, folks. Welcome. Good to see you, Small Tubes. Good to see everyone. I always wonder how much to share of my life, because frankly, there's a few nutcases in the chat, or at least there used to be anyway. Most of you guys are super fun people, right? And so it would be nice to be able to share normal stuff with you. I was just talking to Dee before the show. I guess I can share this. I'm not going to share where I'm looking at houses or any specific characteristics, but basically, I'm looking at a couple of houses, and I kind of have to decide today. Basically, I have to decide if I'm going to make an offer on this one place or this other place, basically. And it's very interesting, when you think of it from a grower's perspective, it really changes all of your uh, 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 deciding factors, like the different kinds of ceiling, or if it's in a basement. So, for example, the one place actually has a basement. I would basically grow in the basement. The other place, I'd probably grow in the garage. At first, I was thinking I would grow in there's basically like two family rooms. I was like, oh, maybe I could grow there, but fuck, it's a pain in the ass to grow indoors, basically. Like, I mean, of course, everybody's done it before, but God, what a pain in the ass it is. You don't want to fuck up the floor. You don't want to, I grow organically, so I don't want to have roly polies walking around on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want that to happen. So I'd have to build it in a tent or something. So, oh, what a pain in the ass. So honestly, the logical choice is the garage. Well, of course, the garage brings you all kinds of problems. I mean, it has solutions to problems too, because it's got more ceiling space, so you can lift or hang lights a lot more easily. You'll basically never run out of hanging height and so on and so forth. But in this case, it's not insulated, so I basically will have to do a lot of insulation. Well, that helps in the wintertime, but now what about in the summertime when my garden itself is creating a tremendous amount of heat and I've just insulated it, so I hold all that heat in, right? Now what do I do? So I'm going to have to figure out both first insulation, but then eventually probably some combination of venting and air conditioning, because the summers in the northern hemisphere are not getting any colder, right? What else? I'm probably going to have to deal with some electrical, because I think the one with the garage, the panel is basically maxed out. Well, okay, depending on how it's maxed out, maybe every single outlet in the house has its own breaker, right? That would be wonderful, right? You never know. In that case, it wouldn't be a problem to basically use multiple or use a couple breakers, right? But I assume that looking at a maxed out panel, that basically that means there's essentially no room left, and there's a bunch of different stuff, the furnace and the this and the that. Probably that stuff is all taking up the panel, so I'm probably going to have to add an accessory panel, right? With the freaking basement one. Okay, well, I have very limited ceiling height, and they're also a lot smaller rooms. There's two basically adjacent rooms that are kind of bowling alley shaped, essentially, rectangles or whatever. So logically speaking, I would have flour in one and veg in the other. Well, is that what I want to do? Do I want to be really tight and walk down this little bowling alley every time I want to do something? If I want to predominantly do breeding runs, because I'm not a cash cropper, if I want to do breeding runs, how am I going to freaking arrange those bowling alleys? I started to think about that. I was like, oh, this would be super easy if I wanted to cash crop this, circa 2007, throw down a bunch of HPS lights on one, throw down a bunch on the other, and do veg upstairs or something, right? But in this case, that's not something I'm going to do. So what do I want to do? Multiple grow rooms? Oh shit! If I only have 8 feet wide in two rooms, I gotta, even if, well, maybe it's not the end of the world. I could create a 6 foot deep room and still have a couple feet to walk by. Anyway, these are the kinds of things I'm thinking about right now. So we don't have to go in great detail, but even still.
For sure.
Grow on the roof, wouldn't that be nice? What's that, North Star?
I said for sure. It's always something. I mean, I've been looking at properties too up in Oregon area, and it's like the whole thought of moving itself is a huge process. Like, oh my god, it's so much to do. But then when I get where I'm going, how much do I have to do once I get there? Because it's not like they have a grow room set up for me and everything's ready to go. So I got to think about a move and then grow. I have a peacock I'm going to bring with me, so I need an aviary set up for the birds. I mean, more and more things I was thinking like, all right, this and that, and then it's like, ooh, your head starts spinning. Like this is too much. It's almost like I got one thing. I got to get my house ready first. So I
I
can't
think
think
I have a
about trying to
peacock
house ready
feather
while I'm thinking about
from
where I could possibly
hold on.
Yeah.
go. It's like, oh, too much.
I think I
So
have a peacock feather from Doug the worm guy that I always talk about. Let me see if I still have it.
You have peacock, Joel?
I have a peafowl. I have a peacock and a peahen.
That's pretty cool, man. Right on. That's quite
Yeah,
the
they're just my
pet.
pets. They're just pets.
Yeah, that's
I
quite the
just got,
pet.
I just roll up a joint, go down there, hang out with them, and they walk around, do their thing. I bring them fresh breakfast every day. I bring them greens and grapes and stuff, and I just enjoy them. They're just awesome animals.
That's
I feel I feel
awesome.
like I feel like it's like a privilege to be like their guardian and caretaker. Like they're majestic animals. I get the privilege to take care of them.
You
Awesome.
can't see much of the feather, but this particular feather is from, as you say, a really majestic fucker, basically. This is from that guy, Northwest Redworms, I think is the business. But anyway, I just call him Doug. It's the guy that I go up and get worm castings from, and he has chickens, ducks. He used to have quails, but I guess I don't know, maybe he ate them or something. He actually is very how do I put this? He very rarely eats the birds. He's kind of admitted that they're family, basically. He used to be really gruff, but now he's like, oh yeah, we try not to eat them, you know. Every once in a while, if one of the birds is or sick or something, I don't know, whatever. He was talking about the exceptions last time I talked to him. But the peacocks are there basically just to have a nice life. And he says most of the time they lay their eggs in the tree or something, then he finds them cracked on the ground and stuff. Like they're apparently some of the stupidest birds in the world, but they're really, really comical. And this particular guy is the cock of the walk, basically. He apparently is the father of the majority of the herd at this point because he's this
That's
extremely
how it works. Yeah.
boisterous, so outgoing guy, and his fucking peacock is incredible. It was absolutely hilarious. Last time I was there getting some worm castings, he was doing his thing, and Doug was like, "Okay,
Oh yeah.
just watch him, you know, just just watch him do his thing." I mean, you're not going to interrupt him anyway, right? Like he was in the middle of the driveway, so it's like you're gonna have to wait for him to do his thing anyway. But yeah, he was doing his strut, and anyway, really good birds. Anyway, I'll be right back.
Yeah. The boy I got now, he's only I guess he's just getting about 2 years old now, so he's just getting to actual maturity, but he's still his feathers aren't nearly full size or anything, but he does not care. He's got his feathers half missing and everything. Well, now he's about lost them all this time of year by now, but earlier in the year we still had like half his feathers, half of them full. It looked like shit. He looked like a bum peacock. He had like half his feathers missing. They were short. He don't care. He's walking around showing off all day long every chance he gets. He's just the proudest guy I can think of. And then I got my daughter's old bunk bed is actually in there. And the top part of the bunk bed I fill with hay. And that's where the girl goes and lays her eggs at. She goes up on top of the bunk bed and lays her eggs up in the hay all the time.
Huh,
It's pretty
That's pretty
convenient. But she guards them. She pecks at me when I try to take them. So
Do you so you take them sometimes? Do you eat the peacock eggs? What do they taste like?
I cook with the peacock eggs in general. For me,
Yeah.
I'm not a real egg yolk fan. I like
Oh,
regular chicken eggs, right? Egg whites. The peacock eggs are more like a duck egg or a turkey egg. It's about
okay.
3 times as much yolk to the white ratio.
I'm
It's a
trying
lot
to
more
remember
yolk.
if I've had turkey eggs.
I'd say it's close to 3 times the size of a chicken egg, maybe 2.5 to 3 times the size, but it's by far way more yolk. So I use it mainly for making pasta. When I make fresh
Okay.
pasta, I usually take one peacock egg and one chicken egg and mix them together, and that seems to give me a really nice tender pasta.
That's awesome. I can't remember if I've ever had a turkey egg. Now I want to go have a turkey egg. I'm a big fan of eggs in general. It's kind of funny because I'm normally into very spicy foods and very profound flavors, but I've always really, really enjoyed eggs, which are some of the mildest flavor you can imagine, right? But
Yeah,
just love eggs Benedict and stuff like that. Just can't get enough
yeah.
of it.
We give some of them away to one of my wife's coworkers. She's on a carnivore diet, so she loves the yolky big eggs. So she makes eggs over easy with them. She loves them. Um, This year we got about 12 of them. She doesn't lay a lot of eggs. She don't lay them year round. It's just in the summertime, a few batches of eggs. Now if we were baking, I have like we save our egg whites for something else. We need egg yolks for something we were making. I had egg whites in the fridge. I'd pull them out and mix them with the peacock egg, eat them like a regular egg. It tastes pretty much the same. They're just rich from all the yolk. So if you have extra whites, you can mix them together and make a good 3 egg omelet, no problem, with a couple extra whites in there.
So,
With one turkey
um,
egg, one peacock egg.
funny the different preferences people have for eggs, you know, like Some people will only eat them over easy or medium. Oh, fuck. I'm trying to find this article that I saved the other day from something cannabis related, but it's not showing up. God freaking damn it. It was probably removed. Fuck, I hate it when they remove the awesome stories that I want to talk about on the show. I need to photocopy them or something and finally learn. So annoying. Oh man, it was such a good story too. Well, whatever. It was something to do with changing weed legality. So it is. Fuck was I talking about before? I was trying to talk about two things at once, and now I can't remember either of them. Uh, well, anyway, I'll use this commercial break to say, folks, do hop on. The show's kind of rapidly ticking towards its end. Please don't dawdle if you want to hop on here and ask about growing. Tell us about growing. You're welcome to do either one. You're welcome to ask questions or talk about your awesome grow. Show off your, the flowers basically well in progress. I have a couple plants that I would say are probably halfway done. I'm genuinely surprised because it's just September 11th, pretty solemn day, honestly, in the US, but
Oh
not even
wow.
halfway through September. And yeah, crazy fucking day, honestly. It's always one of those days that you're just like, man, you wish you could kind of just never think about that shit again. But it's just you being in New Jersey probably knew people that lived in there. I had friends
Yeah.
that basically knew people who actually died in the towers and stuff. It's fucked up, So whatever. Oh, go ahead, North Star. Were you going to say something?
Oh no, well, I worked in the casinos that back then,
Oh,
and everyone at the casinos was thought we could have possibly been a target for another kind of attack like that because it was tallest buildings on the coast, basically. We actually had this was probably 6 7 months after that. So we actually had an anthrax scare in the Sands Casino I worked at, where I was lucky, like the last person to get out of the damn place before they locked the freaking casino down for like 3 hours and figure everything out.
look.
But that was back crazy times back then.
Yeah, it was really nuts. I saw a crazy video that I didn't hadn't seen before. It's not like I've obsessively watched the tower videos, but over the years, it's been 23 freaking years or 22 years, however long it's been,
Yeah.
long ass time. You can't help but see a bunch of the different videos of the different perspectives from the bridge and from, out of town and whatever, all the different videos of the planes hitting and stuff. Anyway, this was a video of this. She was already 60. I think she's still alive. So that's wonderful. But she was already 60. She was like an Oscar-winning composer that wrote the music to like Artificial Intelligence and all these actually big name movies. Anyway, she had an apartment in Manhattan that basically looked at the towers, and she set up her video camera surprisingly high quality for 2001 and just let it run basically. And you could hear not only the whole attacks, in the distance honestly, but you could also hear her talking on the phone with her friends and just kind of processing like first one hitting and then the other one hitting and then basically the second one falling and then the first one falling. It was absolutely nuts. But anyway, whatever. I didn't mean to bring up morbidity and ruin everyone's day, but it is a pretty solemn day for Americans. Um, really changed our country for a long time, arguably maybe forever, right? You can't really unchange a change, I guess, or unring a bell, but we certainly were very different after that. We used to, it's crazy, you used to be able to show your driver's license to get on a plane. Like you didn't have to have your passport, you didn't have to go through security. Like
Yeah.
sometimes airports had metal detectors, but sometimes you could walk on. If you had a gun, you probably could have walked on the goddamn airplane. They would have known. You weren't allowed to, but I mean, like nobody was checking. Fuck, they didn't give a shit if you were carrying a bottle of water or if you had your coffee with you or something. Like, come on, just don't spill it on your neighbors and you'll be okay. It was just such a, oh, your guests,
I'll just be sad.
whoever was picking you up or dropping you off could come with you to the gate. Like
Yep.
literally when I was a kid, I could fly, like my parents would drop me off, yay divorce. My parents would drop me off like at the plane, basically. You could walk up to the plane.
You know,
Times have fucking changed, you know what I mean? Times have goddamn changed. And it's been a generation since they changed. It's really crazy. But yeah, anyway. Fuck was I talking about before that? I was talking about, by the way, Cheers Jones and 2 Grow is growing some of my weed. He's growing some black Soma Morgana and some Tisbut Espresso. Hope the high is nice. Hopefully I'm gonna finally send out these testers. I've just been so
Oh,
preoccupied
guys,
with stuff
I
that
gotta
I
take
haven't
off. I gotta
tested.
get back to work
Taking
today.
off? Right on, North Star. Good to see you.
I gotta go. I got kid pickups afterwards, so I'm trying to get another batch of resin pouring here before
Go for
the
it.
before I pick up kids. So thanks for
Go
having
for it.
me on. I will be back
Cheers,
again
Northstar.
next week for sure.
Good to see you.
What time's your
Cheers,
Saturday
Joel.
show? I wanted to ask you about that.
Saturday is 7 o'clock in the evening.
Okay, West Coast 7 o'clock.
Ah,
Yes, indeed.
Okay, I'll try to remember that one.
Right on. Cheers, Northstar.
Later.
He didn't have a chance to say so, folks, but don't forget to visit geneticsupply.com. I think it is. It's .com, isn't it? I believe so. And of course, you'll find his seeds, and Flora's on there too. So our good friend Flora's on there. Of course, a bunch of other breeders too, who I haven't kept track of, but he's always talking about a few of them. Anyway, what was I going to say? And no, it's not a sponsor or something, folks. He's just a cool guy. Cheers, folks in the chat. Cheers, Benny. Good to see you, buddy. We'll probably bounce here in a little bit then if nobody else hops on, because I'm sure both Dee and I have stuff to do. So, folks,
yep,
if you want the show to keep going, this is your cue. Hop the fuck on. Otherwise, we might bounce in a little bit. Shit, I don't know what else
yeah,
to
you
talk
have
about.
some big decisions to make.
I sure do. Yeah, I mean, it's been such a difficult time for me that it somehow hasn't been exciting. I'm not going to go into the details honestly because I just don't want people to know. But it's been a challenging process getting to this point, but finally we are to this point that looks like I can make an offer. I guess I'm leaning towards the place with the garage. It makes a lot more sense for me. It's a lot more work. It's definitely not as turnkey and stuff, but I actually like working on places, so that'll be kind of a fun project. Um, yeah, I don't know, kind of leaning towards that, I guess. It's definitely not at first what I was looking for, but might be a good opportunity. I think it has nice opportunities for the garden, so that's really cool. I would very much like to get back to not only weed, but also pepper plants and stuff. So that place, I think I would have enough space for that. I could do a co-planting situation, which would be really ideal. Oh, just in time. Here comes Bud. I could do a co-planting situation, which would be superb. You say some perennials, peppers and stuff, and then also, gosh, I wouldn't even mind having tomatoes in the garden. Cheers, Bud. Good to see you. Yeah, in a perfect world, I think that one of the most unfortunate things about cannabis gardens, just in general, both the commercial gardens, private gardens, you name it, is the absolute lack of biological diversity. And I think it really is to all of our detriment. I think it's to the detriment of the plant health. I think it's to the detriment of the soil health, certainly if you're using soil. I think it's to the detriment of the gardener's peace of mind and everything else to only deal with one fucking plant. It's just not natural. And I don't know. It's maybe it's too hippy dippy, but I think it's a really nice idea to have a bunch of different plants in the garden and not just fucking weed plants. Even if you are cash cropping, even if you are commercially growing, but of course that makes it more difficult. What's going on, Bud? What's the good word, buddy?
Another day, yeah. Just kind of getting going here. Stayed up too late defoliating these trays, but I got it done. So it's always good when you follow through. You wake up and feel better about yourself that you did what you laid out to do.
Right.
Right on.
And yeah.
Oh,
By the way, I just discovered some of these holy shit balls. Cavendish and Harvey. I guess they're from Germany. They're German. Sour cherry drops. But anyway, they're sour cherry drops made with real fruit juice. I'm going to try some of their other flavors one of these days when I go back to the store. They've got like, I can't even remember, berry and apple or whatever shit. But these taste a lot like that sour Morgana that I always talk about, the sour Morgana Mom. And it's really funny. I keep talking about, oh,
right
sour
on.
cherry lifesavers and this and that, the other thing. No, it's basically tastes like these. I don't think the sour cherry lifesavers even actually exist. It's like in my imagination. Anyway.
I'll take the same
An old timey sour cherry tin can, yeah. No, it's cool. They're legit, man. The ingredients are pretty good. Let's see here. What's the ingredients? They are. I didn't just lie to you. They are glucose syrup, sugar, concentrated cherry juice, citric acid, colored with vegetable juice, beetroot specifically, natural flavor. Well, that could be beaver asshole, and then may contain milk.
What herbs?
Pretty legit. No ascorbate. 75 and no fucking red dye 96 and whatever the shit.
Boo!
A little bit of cadmium. Yeah, it's the cadmium that really that I can't live without that cadmium mouthfeel. Said nobody
Hey,
ever.
red dye number 5. Good
Yeah.
old red dye number 5.
So Hillbilly Herb said that there is or there was there willed a wild cherry lifesaver that was fantastic. Or no,
Yes, there was.
Freudian slipped. That must be what I was thinking about. I don't know. Everybody says like, no, there's no sour cherry lifesaver. All right. I feel like there
Yeah, it's
would.
wild cherry.
All right.
Hillbilly's right.
That's what it was.
I used to get, when I was a kid, lifesaver storybooks.
Mm.
So,
I remember those.
All right, D,
yeah.
I missed it, but what are you smoking on today?
I'm smoking on the same stuff right now, bud. Though I am smoking on. Oh no, Bubba Kush.
We can't go wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, bud?
Yeah.
I'm cheetah piss.
Yes. Yeah.
You good stuff.
Starting my morning with cheetah piss today.
I
Right
miss having
on.
that cheetah piss. I ran out some time ago and I'm like, oh shit, it would really hit the spot. But one of these days I've got well, I've got it in the garden. So I guess when I start flower again, it'll be a little bit, but when I do start flower again, I guess I'll have some cheetah piss. We'll see.
Fucking thing.
Yeah, I for a year, whatever. It's been a long time. Yeah, sometimes I go in little different directions with the other kinds I have, but I always circle back to the cheetah piss, and some of those other ones are tastier, I guess, or different. But yeah, there's something about the high that really just suits me. Like it's like yeah, I can tell. Like when I smoke after I smoke it, I'm always like, yeah, that's the stone that I really like. Now I know that's really individual. That's the part of the entourage effect, or everybody's cannabinoid system's a little different.
hmm. It is kind of comical that everybody is so different. For example, I smoke regularly with my friend and she gets stoned a couple puffs. Honestly, literally a couple of puffs of most joints or most weed. Go figure, dabs don't affect her nearly as much. She can take a fairly big dab and not get ripped. It's always very interesting and comical, I think, that people say that dabs are so powerful when, I don't think they're that powerful for everybody. But uh, uh, um, for example, I can smoke a whole joint, couple gram joint, and not get that high, honestly. I mean, by the time I'm smoking a couple gram joint, I'll probably feel it pretty good. But like a 1 gram joint is just like a maintenance high, honestly. I'd have to smoke literally 3, 4 gram freaking blunt to really get ripped. But like I say, some people, same thing with edibles. Some people can basically get absolutely fucking baked on 5 milligrams or even a half of a 5 milligram gummy. I couldn't possibly even feel a 5 milligram gummy. Like it's just candy to me. Same thing, I'm sure Bud. Like if you handed him a 20 milligram gummy, he could probably eat him by the fistful and be fine. And
No,
maybe if
like
he really took
I'm
on like
like it's
400 or
been
something.
so long I haven't fucked with edibles because
You know?
yeah, edibles really fucked me up, and I just put them down like so many years ago, and because as much as I get fucked up, I like I don't like the edibles give me like a hangover. Like I
Hmm.
can smoke all the weed all fucking day. Finally go to sleep. When I wake up, I'm like it's like a reset. Edibles, oh no, that shit lingers in me for like 2, 3 days. And the
Hmm.
first day I like it gets you definitely gets you the edible buzz, but I don't like day 2 and 3.
Interesting.
So it's been like fuck way over 10 years since I ate any.
I've definitely woken up the next morning still high, which is pretty annoying with edibles. Like especially if I eat like I make a really, really, really good, I think, and my friends think really good freaking edible cookies. and I usually use when I have it, I'm out of it right now, but usually use ABV, like already been vaped through that I've run through my vape, so it kind of changes the flavor. Anyway, these cookies are so good that they're like nice munchies. You know what I mean? So at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I might find myself eating one of those goddamn cookies, and wouldn't you know it, a few hours later, I wake up and I'm still fucking ripped. I'm like wobbly in the morning. Oh man, that's not ideal. So yeah. I don't know. Actually, I guess speaking of like a hangover effect, I don't know if I've had, I guess maybe I have had kind of a hangover-y effect where it was like uncomfortable a little bit in the morning. Not so much like headaches and stuff, but just like, oh shit, the light's too bright, that kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, what
Yeah, it leaves me like I mean, I'm already a procrastinator
hmm.
naturally, but yeah, that hangover effect is like a day or two where I'm just like burnt.
Hmm.
Like, oh,
I
even a couple cups of coffee don't break me through.
Hmm.
Where that's really why I don't like edibles.
I'm not an
And
edible.
yeah, it's been so long. Maybe I know. Well, I could one day I might venture back in and test the waters.
What was that, D?
Oh, I'm just saying I'm not an edible person either. I don't really eat edibles.
Hmm.
I don't like the way they I can control the high. Like I can smoke all day long. But then you smoke the edible and you can't really unless you smoke some like CBD or something to counteract. But I just don't like edibles. And a lot of edibles don't really work for me either.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
Surprisingly common, yeah. Huh.
So I just smoke. I like to smoke.
Yeah. Well, everybody's different. That's the reality.
Yeah, man.
We're all the same in so many ways, but different in other subtle ways.
Yeah, man. I want to be the same but different, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. A nice day here today. Not sure the weather. It's nice out there. It's warm.
We had like it's normal in our area. Like the worst of the heat usually is in September. That's our San Diego's thing. And today's the first day we're back to like mid low 80s. But the last 4 or 5 days, it was I don't know high 90s. It was like hot for
Nice.
3 4 days, and that finally broke. Hot, humid, kind of uncomfortable. But yeah, it was only a few days.
Felt Fahrenheit. It's only 74 here right now.
Well, it's
It's
kind of amazing because holy shit! Like at this point, it's this year's like over. Like by
yeah.
the time you get to this point of the year, it's just another bam, and it's another New Year, Christmas, New Year's right around the corner.
Uh, that means freaking snow. Freaking stupid snow. Oh.
You don't like the snow?
No, I hate
No, D
snow.
likes hot
Snow.
weather.
Yeah. I like Captain 420's weather and your weather there, bud. 110, 120.
Yeah, well,
I'd be wearing long sleeve shirt, long pants even in that weather. Or maybe a t-shirt, but definitely pants.
yeah, it's been a long time since I've been in snow. Like I over the years I've gone skiing or there's
Yeah.
Big Bear and there's Mammoth. There's in California, there's plenty of snow. Uh yeah, I just the way my life is I haven't been up to any of those places in a long time. I like it
I'll
to
send you
go
some
up
snow.
there and check it out. It's not like I live in that, but like I like the brisk cold air of like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's only a couple hours, like it's not far, but yeah, I haven't ventured up there, had a reason, or a couple times my friends snowboard and stuff. I've been invited, but things didn't work out. But I kind of miss seeing some snow. A few days of
Hey,
it.
hey, Joneson, right here, buddy. I already got them on. I already got my long Jones on, my tops and my bottoms.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's probably still 85 degrees where D is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's hot as hell in LA, isn't it? It's hot as hell in Southern California.
Yeah, I think we might have broke like even the weather prediction said Wednesday it was gonna. But yeah, we
Oh,
were in
sorry,
a
77.
cooker there for a few days.
Nice. Right
Yeah,
on, Chris.
and there could probably be one more of those episodes before the end of the year. But summer's over technically, right? We're in fall.
Are we? I think fall starts maybe in a couple of weeks. Actually, I don't remember. I think,
Yeah, we're close.
yeah, close enough.
I mean, out of all the seasons, I like fall and spring. Those are the sweet ones.
Mhm.
No, summer for me. The hotter the better.
Nice. Christoph's got a cross of Black Kush by Lime River Rose. That's a nice, that's a bet a really nice cross. Probably super gassy with that lime.
Yeah, hopefully Christoph's doing good. I see him in chat, but haven't he hasn't come up for a while, but
Hmm.
I know he's there.
Yeah, yeah. Wee wee.
I don't think I can quite
Oh,
start this.
shit. Now, what was it called? Hold on. Stand by, folks.
I'm take a dab. Please talk amongst yourselves.
So, Christoph, I don't know the exact French word for it, but Mrs. D's mom makes roulade and rolled up roast beef. Holy fuck.
Oh, that's
Stand by.
roulade. That's literally the French word. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, roulade is freaking
They're
good.
super fucking good. You're making like the Polish kind?
German.
Oh, okay.
Mrs. D's mom makes the German kind.
Is the German kind breaded on the outside or no?
No, rolled up with the they put pickle in it, but I don't put pickle in it. She doesn't put pickle in hers. It's gross. But she puts the mustard in it and
Mm.
oh, what's that other thing? Shit. Mustard and something. Anyways, it's good. Yeah, roulade and wee roulade is freaking awesome. Anyways,
Over the time, I've come to realize D's like a foodie.
I love food. Eating and smoking. I'm eating my vegetables and smoking. I'm smoking my vegetables and I'm eating my vegetables all at the same time, folks. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Right on.
What do you guys plan for the weekend?
The takeover. Gotta get to the takeover. That's about it for me, I think. I'll check the schedule. What about you? What about you, bud? Any big plans? Gonna go see the dead or anything? Or anything? Any
No, like
ghosts?
the music scene is kind of on a slow point right now. There's a couple shows being announced, and uh, not the Dead. They're they only do the summer or whatever. Um, Actually, an interesting one that got it used to be the Bridge Benefit, but it's they don't really call it the Bridge Benefit anymore. But it's the same event. It's up in Lake Hughes,
Yeah.
And so they announced yesterday that the show is Neil Young, because he puts on the bridge benefit
Yeah. Yeah.
for raising money for, I think it's, I don't know, autism or something like that. He's been doing that for decades. But then it's Stephen Stills and John Mayer, which, yeah, like John Mayer and Neil Young together, that could be cool.
Yeah, that could be a good show. Did you
Billy
say you're going
Strings
to?
is on his little hiatus, and then he starts tour, I don't know, next month, I think. He's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
coming out west, but he has a lot of shows. And yeah, not kind of quiet on the music scene. There's always some music,
Yeah,
but
right on. Mm. I'm smoking on. What the hell am I smoking on now? Oh, the Rainbow Runs. I smoke on some more Rainbow Runs in a minute. Roll another one. Fuck it.
yeah.
Tempest, fuck it. Oh,
A good T-shirt.
that's what Leahy says. Here's
Oh my God, Mom,
a
he's wearing on his shirt. Well, we'll hang here for a couple minutes, folks, but it looks like nobody else is hopping on here. It was nice of Bud to hop on here. But folks, if you want the conversation to hop on, or to continue rather, for a little bit longer, please do hop on. Normally we go for another 20 minutes, but shoot, we could bounce it a couple minutes here. So consider this last call, ladies and germs. What else is new with your garden, Bud? Any exciting new plants? I think I haven't asked you for like a month.
Well, we got this one that we got to clone and get going, mule fuel.
Hmm.
And other than that, just grinding out the same ones.
I wonder what the cross on that mule fuel is. The jet fuel that I tested was not what I was expecting. I was expecting
Well,
something really, really gassy, and it was
Green Fingers,
a
who's like
Angie
the
cross, maybe.
encyclopedia of info, when I first mentioned mule fuel, he knew, yeah, it's a thug pug strain, all right, and I guess it has GMO in it.
Hmm.
Which, when he mentioned that, well, you have to run it to see. But my experience with GMOs, one, they stretch more than normal, and they take a little longer to really come out right. So hopefully, our other the guy that gives them to us, he grows too, and uh, yeah, he didn't mention it takes longer. So
Hmm.
because that is like
Other,
a thing in today in my new criteria and the framework I work in. Yeah, like basically 65 days, because everything else is all the ones I'm running are 65 days. There's a lot of things that are 75 days or maybe even 80 days. But then, yeah, and the way this is set up, when I had my other place, even though I had a lot of trays, I used to have it that it was like perpetual. Each tray was perpetual. So like in the room, it wasn't like the whole room was always set. There was like a tray and then another tray here. It's whole rooms that are set on the same day. Usually, yeah, days that your flowering room is empty, you're losing. So like even the last time the workers who harvested and then supposedly clean up the room and get it ready to reset, somehow it
Hmm.
took them 3 days. Like they came and did so much the one day, and then second day, and then finally the third day, which partner like kind of gave him shit over that and reminded him, oh wait, we've done that. Like we've taken down a room, cleaned it, did everything, and reset it the same day. Because ultimately, when you look at your numbers over a year span, a couple days here, a couple days there, a couple days here, then you add it up on an annual basis, then you realize, oh, well, that's like a half a run or a whole run you missed out on. So I've always, from running perpetual, I've always made it a thing that you can't leave your flowering space empty. You're losing.
It's a surprisingly simple premise. If you're not growing, you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
It's said and done.
Now, a few days, okay, that's all part of it.
Mm.
A lot of it, we used to set the same day and stuff, and sometimes during those um, periods of time, yeah, there'd be a little powdery mildew would start to develop in room and stuff, and basically when things changed and I got much more involved here, yeah, we always at least go one day because I use a when the room's empty, turn off everything, and I use sulfur, like a burner or whatever, vaporized sulfur. And I also have this like, I don't know what kind of light, ozone light or something. It's this weird light that smells like ozone or I don't, but it's effective. And by doing that and thoroughly cleaning, yeah, it, it pays dividends than when you should just keep resetting. Yeah, when next thing you know, you develop fucking problems, you can't do anything about it. And someone gave me this UV light thing, and I didn't know what to think of it at first. Whether it was like a gimmick or if it was really effective. Oh no, that thing's really effective.
Some of them you have to be very careful with, especially pointing them towards yourself, bud.
Well,
You don't
this
want to
one,
take
like, it took me a while to figure out. It only has these two buttons to make it work, and well, it took me a while before I pulled. I didn't have the directions or anything. He just gave me the light, and like, I finally went online and read. But yeah, I would be thinking just because it's like a E-pen or whatever. Oh, like click it 5 times and then it'll come or whatever. No, this one is you just click it once, but it doesn't come on for 30 seconds because yeah, you're not supposed to look at this light or anything like that. It's I don't know. I UV or it's like deep, it's not blurple, but it's like a white purple. But like definitely when I have that light running, when I come back in the room to move them around or turn them off. Oh, and it has 3 settings: 15 minutes, a half hour, and 2 hours or something like that, or 1 hour. So it only runs, you can't just turn it on and leave it on. But yeah, it smells like ozone a little. I think that's what it does.
Huh.
Oh shit, I'm muted. Hillbilly's saying gotta leave the place for a little bit with ozone. And he's also saying some UVC bulbs put out ozone.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. UVC bulb. Yeah, it's a common practice.
I was going to talk about a little bit ago. You were talking about fuck. What were you talking about? Oh, you were talking about GMO, and I was going to say something I actually like better. It seems more GMO-y than GMO almost. Is this pure Michigan? And I looked it up. Sure enough, I shouldn't have been surprised. It's apparently from Thug Pug. Anyway, it's Oreos by Mendo Breath F2, and of course that Mendo Breath is renowned for being stinky. So that's
Yeah, I've
probably
heard pure Michigan's good.
no.
Well, I've heard Doug Pug for the last few years. Oh, he's definitely made a mark for himself with some good crosses he's put out. Isn't like peanut butter breath part of his thing
Yep.
too? And
Meat breath, peanut butter breath. I think all those breath ones basically. Well, I guess arguably, of course, Fang would probably disagree, but what can I just tell you? That's where I know them from.
well, I used to
Um,
have a thing where like if I knew, yeah, I was like a California native, so I something that came from a breeder in Colorado or Michigan or anywhere other than California. I I don't know. It wasn't like I was against it or anything, but I would have chose like a California thing over that. In the last few years, I don't think like that anymore.
You're a
Because good
globalist
shit
now.
can be found in anybody's work. If it's good shit, then it's good shit. End of story. Then
Amen. That should be a t-shirt right there. Well, shit. Can we make it to the 20?
yeah.
We can talk about something. What's there to talk about?
Well, I'm still because I listened to some of the whatever you call it the all the talk on the holy shit, that debate was fucking crazy, dude.
It was goddamn bonkers. Yeah. What'd you think
Oh
about
my
it?
god. All you can do
Great
is laugh,
nuts.
other than like it's not like at this point 8 years of this madness isn't funny anymore, but shit, that shit was funny,
Worst
dude.
part is that it's not 8 years, man. We're approaching like pretty close to 20 years of this fucking garbage because basically Trump came out with the birther shit in like
Yeah, really.
2006 or
Yeah,
something. You know what I mean?
like
So it's been like 18 fucking years. And everybody remembers how suddenly he became the apprentice, or no, he was the boss of the apprentice or whatever. I was talking about it yesterday. I was like, that fucking show did more damage to this country than maybe any
yeah,
other like television show in the history of mankind, because they literally introduced that whole concept of you're fired and whatever. And you look at the write-ups of it, and he didn't act that way before. He wouldn't fire people in person. Like that was all made up for the show. And they literally created this whole persona to the point that now he's talking about it in the debate, and Kamala was baiting him with it. She's like, he's talking about how he got the most votes ever with 65 million, and she was like, well, you were fired by 81 million.
yeah. It's
Jesus
like
Christ, what a weird fucking
what's
debate.
the thing?
Oh,
Like you just keep digging. You know what I mean?
no.
Like yeah, he doesn't know what. Yeah, and like at this point, I'm over it. Like we've had Reagan, we've
Yeah.
had all the different little eras of different things.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I haven't. I'm over this one. Like whatever it is, it's got to be different, new, somebody else. I have heard that guy is so old and tiring, and no idea. Like yeah,
Here's the shit he talks about. I mean, you can just visibly see that it's not true. You know, they talk about how Minneapolis got burned down, and I don't know how many times my mom would call me, "Oh, Portland is burning," and I'm like, "Portland's not fucking burning. I can look out the window. It's not burning. What do you want from me?" But she would listen to Russian TV and whatever. That did so much damage to her. It did a lot of damage to her.
yeah.
It
I mean,
did a lot of damage
like
to
he's not the
a
only
lot of old
one.
people.
He just utilized the fact that you can just say things that aren't true and then say them enough or
Yep.
in a certain way
The
that
Nazis came up
then
with that.
they,
They called it the big lie. The more absurd the lie is, the better. So, for
yeah,
example, a couple of my friends and I were talking about it. Like, how is he fucking talking about eating dogs and what murdering babies and shit? And like, yeah, literally murdering babies after birth and on and on and on. The crazier the lie, the more likely his fans are to believe it. It's a really, really fucked up paradox
yeah,
of humankind. And like I say, they invented it basically, the good old fucking Nazis that everyone loves so much because they were such nice people. They were the ones that came up with that.
yeah. I
So
mean, it's been around that thing, been around for a long time, and somehow, yeah, we've in the end. I don't know. I can't even imagine our country being less divided. You know what I mean? Or like, yeah, we're all Americans. Like, there were errors. I remember the highest feeling of that in today's 9/11, 23 years. Yeah, it was after 9/11, right? Um, because we were pretty divided then over a bunch of things, you
hmm.
know, Bush, Gore, all this shit that was going on then. It seems small in today's dramas, but yeah, there was this period where like, oh, something happened, and then we there was like we and it's true, like we have more, what do they say, similarities than differences, but so far in so many years, oh, we've been like divided
Hmm.
by
To
this stuff,
exploit that difference.
which, yeah, I'm over that,
Hmm.
actually. Yeah, I'm over the being divided on yeah, support what you want. I get it. That's all fine and dandy. This level of division or whatever, it's been a tactic. It worked for at a certain point, but I'm over it. Like, there's enough of that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can't believe
and
I
being a
can't believe that
deadhead, where like we were like kind of non-political, but sort of political. All these years, like 4 decades, over 4 decades of being in this community, yeah, there were people from all sides, but we were like, there was a common bond. Like, we were deadheads. We loved the music. Oh, it's been a lot of years. It started like you say, well, at least
Cheers,
8 years
everyone.
ago. Oh, this thing divided the Grateful Dead crowd,
Hmm.
which was like, wow. Uh, and yeah, there's people I don't communicate with anymore. Vice versa. Like like we picked sides, and then we're just like stuck on these sides, even though like
Usually,
85% of most things we agree on.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Now, will this something crazier replace this? Probably.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Could we get back to just like whatever normal, or what was normal? And
Yeah, really good question.
well, I listened to Jon Stewart last night, and he did a thing where he was like, "Yeah, can you even believe it? Dick Cheney endorsed her," and then
Yeah.
he said he has a stick. He's like, "Oh, side camera," and he goes one on one. He says,
they were
"Fuck,"
training.
he says, "Fuck you, Dick Cheney," and then basically pointed out, like, because somehow Dick Cheney endorsing her is like, oh yeah, but he was basically bringing out, and it reminded me, oh, how much we hated. He was the big villain for a long time, and a lot of shit
For
that
good reason.
happened that was fucked up, and
Yep.
war shit and a whole bunch of other shit
Yep.
was Cheney. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's still out there living or whatever, but like
Yeah,
Jon
dude's on
Stewart
his third
basically
heart
was
or
like,
some
yeah,
shit.
fuck you,
Crazy.
Cheney, and fuck you forever, Cheney.
Yep.
Like,
Legit. Fuck Cheney forever.
but like it is weird how time sort of like, oh, this thing got so overwhelmingly venomous that, yeah, I actually, the legacy of Cheney and Bush, like, yeah, they were hated on. I used to think I hated them and the
Oh, I
things they
hate them.
did.
I'll hate them until the end of my life. No, for
Yeah,
sure.
but
Bush
it
and
is
Cheney
weird.
were
Like until
single-handedly
John Stewart
responsible for a
sort of
couple of fake
pointed it
wars.
out, it's easy to forget like the actual. Oh yeah, he's the person that did this, 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 and this. So
Wait,
like
I mean, the
just so
wars
we're
weren't
clear,
fake; they were just started for fake reasons. What's that, D?
just so we're clear, which Bush are we talking about, or are we talking about both Bushes?
W.
That the first
Ironically,
one?
his dad was not a bad president. I'll say that full fucking loudly. I don't even care who listens. His dad was not a bad president. He wasn't a good president. That's why he didn't get reelected. But he wasn't a bad president. Basically, Reagan's bullshit Reaganomics blew up in Bush's face. Bush won, and he had to raise taxes. And his pledge, "Oh, read my lips, no new taxes." It blew up in his face. Basically, that and other things. He wasn't as charismatic as Reagan was by any means, and so on and so forth. But
and
yeah,
the
this is
reality
ironically that bad
of
of a
his
president.
son Bush. Yeah, I mean, I look back at that time and yeah, Cheney was like calling a lot of shots and using his, this group of to manipulate Bush. Bush was kind of easily. I mean, ultimately, Bush was responsible for the things that happened, and he did. But you know,
Yeah, just because he's a dumbass, don't fucking absolve him of guilt. That doesn't
yeah,
make you less guilty of sending people into a meat grinder.
that was like how it was set up. Like like today they hardly use that term, the neocons and all that. But
Yeah,
oh, it was Cheney and Rumsfeld and this group of people that had been around since way back.
yeah.
Like even the fact that Cheney's still, like from what I understand, he basically lives on life support. Like his health things are, unless you had a lot of money, you wouldn't be kept alive. Because
Well, he's
yeah,
gone through three fucking hearts. Most people don't
yeah,
get three hearts in their
yeah,
life.
yeah, and so he's still there.
Yeah, and don't kid yourself. Liz Cheney is not a liberal person. It's been one of the most interesting things to see with the whole Republican movement. It's been subsumed into the Trump movement. There's almost no non-Trumpers, and the Trumpers call them never Trumpers and whatever. And believe it or not, there seems to be some conservatives, not very many, but there do seem to be some that don't like Trump. I've met a few here and there. Some that verify, well, I guess they didn't show me their ballot, but I mean, some that I believe them. They're not liars that didn't vote for Trump, but most Republicans just fucking vote lockstep to Trump. And so it's been really interesting to see this weird dichotomy where they call Romney a fucking libtard and whatever. Romney has never been liberal in his fucking life, and that guy, we agree on almost nothing. A person like that and me, for example. But fuck, compared to Trump, I guess he's liberal. I guess John McCain is liberal. I guess all these other fucking people, these never Trumpers, I guess they're considered liberal now. I don't know where that movement goes after, because someday Trump will die, obviously. Even the fucking Trump cultists must admit that he can't live forever. At some point, he's gone, probably sooner rather than later, let's be honest. And what then? JD fucking Vance? No, nobody's following JD. His wife doesn't follow JD Vance. I mean, shit, that guy doesn't know how to order donuts. Jesus H. Christ. Do you think he's ever been in a donut shop? Did you see that fucking video? Whatever makes sense. Give me whatever
Well, and
makes sense.
I
Give
don't
me two
know, but
glazed, two fucking
somehow
old fashioned, two maple
didn't
bars. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Have you ever eaten a donut?
like before he became he made a bunch of money in Silicon Valley, right? Like somehow,
As a
right?
robot
So
or something? I don't even know.
yeah, it's weird how some people like that fall into some situation and
Seriously.
fucking make all this money. Yeah, we live it. It's beyond crazy. Like it's just beyond
Absolutely.
crazy. Like because most of my life, yeah, it was crazy. There was always issues. There was disagreements, but not on the level of where we've been the last fucking decade.
Yep. Taking a cup of saying every quarter century or so, the Dems and Republicans swap ideals.
Yeah, that's some of that's there too. Well, they're both like when you dig past it all, they're like even oh yeah, we're going to give this and that. And all these promises that in my life, paying attention to presidents, they all said all this stuff, and then none of that shit could happen and or did happen.
I
It all
don't know. I
sounds
mean,
good.
Obama, despite everything, he pulled through Obamacare. Holy shit, the fucking wind was uphill on that one.
But
Um,
I mean, I don't know, but other than the rich people, doesn't, and that's only 1% or whatever, like, doesn't everyone think it's a good idea that we need to tax those people more and tax the other rest of us
Believe it or
less?
not, there's a lot of people who don't agree with it. No, it's the most surprising thing to me to see all the really not even white collar or any like lower class, like blue collar and lower class people supporting these billionaire tax cuts. And you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why do you think that 100 millionaire deserves another fucking $100 million? Like, where do they feel this common cause with these people? It's so bizarre to me, but it's a thing. I don't know. The billionaires have been really successful at propaganda, I guess, because all everybody fucking loves them. It's really dumb.
Yeah, that's like, to me, that's, and it's not like the Democrats are really going to, yeah, they talk big about how they're going to, and
Yeah,
there's other
100%. They're not talking about
consequences.
90% tax or some shit. They're just talking about like 25% tax on these fucking
Yeah,
billionaires.
but even that, there's like, there's already signs of it. They
Yep.
they move they move it out of the they, next thing you know, they move their
They
corporate
don't.
to a
Those
different
fuckers don't
country.
move.
They
Those
get
bitch
out
ass
of,
fuckers. If they were gonna move, they would have. Those fuck faces, they know that the F-35 jets that fly over their fucking houses don't come from the Bahamas or fucking I don't even know, Ireland or somewhere. They know that the protection they get from the goddamn military is in this country and not in some other country. No, if Jeff Bezos or somewhere or someone moved to some other country, he'd have to have a private army defending him. Whereas in the US, he can call the police and they come and fucking defend his ass. Like no, those fuckers are not going to move. There's a reason why all of them come here. There's a reason why that fuckface. Oh, we're going to call him Leon now because the Trumpelstiltskin calls him Leon Musk now. Anyway, Leon became an American and not the other way around. There's a big reason, and it's the same reason why Jeff Bezos is not leaving.
well, I mean, even Elon Musk, who supports Trump pretty much, like like guys, you can say what you want about Elon, but he's definitely a smart fucking guy, and
I would not argue that.
right,
I would not argue that he's very smart.
and
To be honest
and
with you, Brad.
has like his pulse on the fucking cutting edge of all that, and like there's a sign, like what could he see in that guy? Oh yeah, the tax break, that's it. Like that's the only reason. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Fuck, it's beyond crazy. And I know that, oh, we're divided. There's a lot of people that hate the libs and hate the Democrats for whatever. And but
I don't know where that mentality comes from. The hatred of your fellow Americans. That's a pretty new concept.
well, yeah, I mean, that's what, and somehow I think ultimately for the 1% in that, those the super conglomerates and the big corporate, yeah, the the more we're divided, the easier it is for them,
Yeah.
or they may have a higher profit ratio,
Yeah.
because yeah, we're distracted by that. Nothing can get done, not even the simplest things, right? Like, even part of the issues is, oh, they had a good plan and it was bipartisan, but dude put a stop to it because,
Oh,
oh,
the
he didn't
immigration
want it
plan,
to
yeah.
be that, oh, they did something good. The issue, having the issue out there was more
No,
valuable
he
than,
he's accused now of having done the exact same thing with Netanyahu in Israel, basically dragging out the conflict, basically so that he can solve it right away, basically when he comes into office. Very Republican thing to do, actually. Nixon did it in Vietnam. Fuck now, Reagan did it in Iran, basically treating with a fucking foreign adversary as like president-elect, not even as president. That's fucking heavy illegal shit. But what's his fuck? Oliver North took the fall for it. He's like, I did everything. I'm guilty. I'm the worst. I was terrible, terrible, terrible. Then he got pardoned, and it was easy. You know, what corruption? It's incredible. Very, very, very Republican thing to do. You know. Anyway, cheers, Al. Good to see you. Oh fuck, we made the 20 and then some. We actually are well past. So many people bounce here and
Well,
just.
that's always good. I
Yeah,
can
right. We
always
actually, I'm
ramble
looking to
about
finish your
something.
joint. Yeah, 100%.
I'm just like, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to go one way. But like, what I'm looking for, that will be the end of this chapter. Oh yeah, there'll still be
I hope so.
off to the side, fucking commentary but ultimately in 50 some days, if things go the way it looks and where I
It won't be
believe it
over in
should
50
go,
days because he's got his sentencing and he'll do his appeals and blah, blah,
yeah, like
blah,
you'll
and he'll
still,
try to, I'm sure he'll try to take over and on and on and on.
but
Like
like
he'll,
I
he'll
can't
try
see
something.
that if he loses again, then there'll be any political future. Like that'll be like technically
Unfortunately,
the
he's
end of that
78, so
chapter.
he's not gonna run again at 82. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
Um,
And okay, whatever happens after that, yeah. And it's not like, yeah, like you even bring up Mitt Romney and people like that were just like whatever. They were the other side. I don't think like the part of the problem in going forward is where does that party go from here? Okay, Trump doesn't live forever.
yeah.
Okay, like where do they go from there? Like
I guess
do
they're
they?
hoping that JD Vance takes over, but I think he's more interested in couches.
Well, I mean, even yeah, like are they going to just go down? Are they going to correct back to a more like old
They
school
never
whatever
do.
that was, or are they just going to
They always
keep
dial
this
down.
crazy?
Yeah, they double down on every fucking thing. That's been the most interesting thing. Interesting in a kind of, I don't know, you have to almost be, it's like watching a train wreck, you know, like it's just they always double down on everything, even on the simplest shit. Like Trump does this to a T, honestly. He does this more than any Republican, frankly. Anytime there's been any kind of gaffe or anything, he just somehow makes it worse. You know, like I don't know. They ran over I can't even think of something. It's not worth fucking trying to think like Trump, honestly. But it's just so interesting that they always double down on every fucking thing instead of just kind of apologizing or dialing it back or just kind of like letting it go.
Well,
Yeah,
they've
I
used
can't
that
imagine
word
the
in the
party
last
based on
25,
experience can dial that back.
like grievance politics or
Yeah,
grievance. Like, yeah, he's like, that's what it's boiled down to. It's like,
yeah,
there's just all this grievance over the victim. He's like the ultimate victim.
yes.
Everyone out to get him.
It
And
must be fucking exhausting to live that way. And it makes me really wonder how many people have just died off or will die off from the constant fucking stress of thinking that there's 20 million Haitians coming to eat their dog. I mean,
well,
what the
he is
fuck?
a freak of nature, dude. Like even the fact that he had supposedly reported he has like beyond the worst diet at whatever age. Okay,
100%.
like
I don't even know
like
how that guy's still
like
around. Yeah.
and he's still got some pretty
Dude eats
stamina. I give
McDonald's
him
every
like
day. Like, yeah, if
like
anybody else ate McDonald's every day, all day, he apparently eats. This is another one. This is even the most amazing, maybe. He apparently drinks 12 Diet Cokes a day, which means he's consuming like 3 times the recommended maximum for caffeine per day. This dude is
yeah
78 years old, consuming that much
yeah.
fucking caffeine. The fact that his heart doesn't conk out, I just don't even know.
And like when you find like people that actually have money, like 99.9% of them, once they achieve that money, they start eating like they have the opportunity. Yeah, they don't eat bullshit. You know what I mean? Like you can afford not to eat bullshit,
No, he
right?
deliberately eats at McDonald's because this is a real thing. You can look this up. This is real. He eats at McDonald's predominantly, but also other fast food places because he assumes that you can't get poisoned in that fast food menu. And he's apparently wronged so many people in his life that he desperately fears being poisoned. And so this is such an abnormal state of mind. You really have to wonder about it. But he goes to McDonald's because he thinks that essentially he's safe there. Isn't that fucking weird?
No, it's all beyond
I
weird,
mean,
dude.
seriously, like how many people do you have to screw in your life? Like, I'm pretty sure I don't have to worry about being poisoned. I'm pretty sure the worst enemy I have in this life is probably not going to poison me. Like, that's fucked up that you think like everywhere you go, you might get poisoned.
But like I'm sure like there's crazy leaders, right? Putin might be one of that
No, not
is
because of
worried
that.
about
Of course,
that.
their
That's
like
how you can get
ex-wives
to
and shit will
somebody is
poison him.
poison them,
No,
right?
it's not because of Putin or somebody. It started well before he was president. It started years ago. Look it up. It's from way before. It's not because of
Yeah.
Vladimir. First of all, Vladimir is not going to poison his own fucking puppet. Anyway, ladies and gerbils, let's get out of here because I got to make a decision on this house and stuff like that. So,
Well, make the
All
right
right.
decision.
go for it, bud.
Make the right decision. Don't make a rash decision.
Hmm.
Yeah, everyone have a good rest of the week. Keep growing and smoking, and we'll see y'all. I'll see D on Saturday, hopefully.
Yeah, man.
Go from there. All right, everyone, have a good
Everyone.
week.
Later,
Cake in
bud.
a Cup, Cake in a Cup is saying he ate macas. That's how I know he's for sure down in Australia. Sometimes 3 times a day for nearly 12 years. Then another 10, at least 3 to 5 times a week. Here's the key: that you are not in the U.S. You're not in the U.S. where they can substitute fucking, I don't even know, buffalo testicle in there and still call it all beef. They could put in fucking a third squid and a little bit of red bean paste and whatever else and still technically beef. In Israel, McDonald's got busted for using what they considered fake food, for selling basically fake food. And apparently, I was talking to well, one of my friends when I was over there, and he was like, "Yeah, McDonald's is actually good here now because like literally 3 years, I guess it's 4 years now or so. I don't know exactly how long it was because I wasn't there, but he was telling me it was about 3 years before that. McDonald's got busted for essentially everything on their menu being fake, basically just being not real food according to Israeli standards, and they were forced to reformulate everything to the point that they now actually have real beef and real potatoes and shit. So it's actual
Wow.
real food. Yeah, so it's apparently really good now in Israel. So Australia, I have heard, is the same way, that Australia actually forces McDonald's to use real food products that are not engineered to the fucking laboratory just for giggles, just as a joke, you know? Anyway, so the difference is here in the US, McDonald's is now basically horse shit and super expensive, whereas in other countries, it's also still expensive, but it's apparently decent. So that's kind of comical, honestly. And I remember I can say, it's not like I go search out McDonald's overseas, but a lot of times your friends, and when you go to different countries, that will take you to McDonald's. I know it's a thing, I guess, that they want to do. They want to show you that they're worldly or something. And sure enough, McDonald's around the world are actually good. Like in Germany and fucking Poland, all these different places, it's expensive for their food, but it's actually still high quality. Whereas in the US now, still also fairly expensive for fast food, but total gutter trash, I would argue. Uh,
At least they don't put
every time I go
Marmite
to
on their
McDonald's, they fuck
burger.
up the order. And I've been ripped off for orders. Like I'll pay for the order in the app. They're like, "Well, we don't have that order. Oh, sorry, sir." What was that, D?
At least they don't put Marmite on their burgers in Australia, which is good.
That
Ugh.
would be something else, a fucking Marmite burger. Cake and
Ugh.
a Goose says they tried to register Aussie beef as a trademark. They wanted to be able to put whatever they wanted into the beef burgers by calling them Aussie beef, which is their own mix of whatever. 100%. That's typical McDonald's. Aussie beef, quote unquote, if you look in the ingredients, abalone shell, kangaroo butthole, buffalo liver, you name it. And then finally at the end of it, a little bit of beef.
Full of testicles.
May contain bovine products. All right, ladies and gerbils, let's get out of here. D, go for it, buddy.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for putting that lovely picture in my head, Pee-wee. Tune in everybody Saturday as we will not be talking about Buffalo balls and all that for the takeover. Hope everyone has a great rest of the week. You can find me on Instagram at D_zombie_. Also find me on my channel on YouTube, DZombie_745. I do pre-shows. Come check me out before the normal shows here on the Humidor and the Flavor channel. Peace out, everybody. And remember, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
You ain't lying. Cheers, Dean. Good to see you, my friend. And D is always serious about that. It's not a joke. There are way too many puppy dogs and kitty cats in shelters around the world. Actually, we often forget that there's an entire world
Yep.
out there with stray animals all over the fucking place. I get reminded of this just about every day now on Reddit. There's a bunch of people that post in like dog and cat. I don't know. I'm not even subscribed to that on Reddit, but Reddit knows that I like dogs, so they just send me shit from Reddit dog. And a lot of people post from like Costa Rica. There was one from Vietnam the other day, like rescues basically around the world. And sure enough, you forget that there are stray dogs and cats around the world, and then there are people who take care of those stray dogs and cats when they can, but they are hugely overwhelmed by the gigantic population of fresh puppy dogs and kitty cats every single year because they don't get spayed or neutered. Spay or neuter your fucking dog, bro. You're not a dog breeder. You're not a backyard dog breeder. It's challenging to do that. Even people who know about breeding, it's challenging to fucking maintain a dog breeding studio and everything else. Don't do that. Just have your dog spayed or neutered. But in the meantime, ladies and gerbils, thanks very much for hanging. Dr. Leave Me Alone, good to see you. The Hillbilly Herbs in the chat. A Cake in a Cup, of course, hanging. Martial Artist, always good to see as well. Who else in here? CTC's hanging with us. Good to see you, CTC. And of course, Benny Ben. I know I'm missing somebody here that's hanging with us. Al Telescope Uranus is good to see you, buddy. He's saying, I don't hate anyone. I want what's best for this country. That's a refreshing view. Narfi's in the house. Narfi, hope your back feels better. Narfi apparently had some struggles with his back and got some serious surgery done. So it's good to see you back, Narfi. Many of us here know what back pain is like, so you have our sympathies. Yeah, it doesn't exactly feel like that, but thanks for the effort, D. But in the meantime, anyway, hope you feel better, Narfi. Hope you feel a lot better. I'm connecting the dots and I see what D was trumpeting, but it sounded to me like he was trumpeting anyway, whatever. It was funny. It was funny.
The return of Narfi.
That's it. That's exactly right. So good to see everybody. As D always says, lurkers, non-lurkers, welcome all. Do, of course, visit my website, ladies and gerbils, fumidoro.com. Please do. You can also type fumesofgold.com. It'll redirect you to the same place. Hopefully, we'll be revamped soon. Hopefully, also, too, we'll be revamped with some new strains, hopefully soon. So please stay tuned. And goodness gracious, if I finally actually do get a new place, hopefully everything will change in my garden, be a little bit more stable. I'll be able to do some of the projects that have been on the absolute back burner or almost the dead burner for a long time. So hopefully we can bring that stuff back. Anyway, folks, be kind, be decent, be gentle. Don't be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics. Puff something wonderful, my friends. And until we meet again, D, I think you mentioned that you're going to do the takeover this Saturday. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be using the traditional Klingon specialties? Are you going to be using what's it called, gach, and I can't remember any other dishes that the Klingons enjoy?
I don't know. We'll see. You'll have to tune in, folks, to find out.
Nice.
There you
Right
go.
on. All right. Well, we'll see then. Tambourines and Elephants 420 says, I never lurk. Good point. Good point. You're technically right. You're right because you've just commented. That's not lurking. That's 100% not lurking. You're 100% telling the truth. Welcome, folks, and of course, goodbye as well. Thanks very much for hanging. Until we meet again, I guess on Wednesday.